Good morning, everybody. You are currently listening to a Tall Girls podcast hosted by a tall girl named India. I hope everyone who is tuning in today is doing super fantastic. We have a very special guest with us today, tall girl Judy Stewart from Trèsolz. Hi, Judy.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Hi, India. I'm doing great. I'm out here in Grenada on vacation. How are you?
Period. We love a good vacation. Meanwhile, I'm stuck, well, not stuck here, but I'm pretty sure you're enjoying the nice weather compared to us in New York City. But please introduce yourself to the audience.
My name is Judy Stewart. I hail from, let's say, Toronto, Ontario, just a little city just north of Toronto. But most people know Toronto, Ontario. I'm a 51-year-old woman, wife, mother of three boys. And I happen to own a shoe brand called Trèsolz, where we focus on fashionable footwear exclusively for large size feet. We go from size 9.5 to size 16. And speaking of me, I am 5'9".
Period. And you know what?
Period.
There's like a bunch of controversy on what's considered
Am I
tall, but
tall, right?
I mean, you are tall. If you think about, in my personal opinion, I think that women that are like 5'8", 5'8.5" ish and up are considered tall. I mean,
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
listen, you are tall if you have stories from your childhood where you you like literally had bad posture because you didn't want to be seen as tall, but you were. And you're always in the back row of all the pictures. You know the pictures when you take the school pictures in the gym? I was always
Yep.
at the back row at the top, where like the pyramid, like that was me, right?
Yeah. Height
Okay.
order. Yeah, I know what you
So
mean.
that makes me tall because I have all of those issues like dealing with post-traumatic stress from my childhood.
Well, speaking of childhood, let's
Mhm.
hear more about your experience growing up as a tall girl, the good, the bad, the ugly. What was it like for you?
It was 80% great. Like I have my parents were immigrants from Jamaica. I'm the youngest of three girls. My father was a full-time pastor, minister in the church. And we grew up in a city in Scarborough. And we had a very loving family, very close-knit family, a lot of cousins. And so even though I didn't fit in really well at school, I was into sports only. Didn't really love academics, just kind of scratch by. But when it comes to track and any sport, I ate it up. But in terms of like family wise, very close knit family, spent all my weekends with my cousins and my extended family and such. And so I do remember issues with my height, like I was talking about before. Ever since I was like 12, I've been this height, 5'9".
Wow.
And I mean, especially with like going through puberty and being taller than all the boys, and none of the boys give me any attention because like I'm taller than them, and it just wasn't cool at that time. I hated my height. I used to look at my little short friends and clothes fit them properly, like nothing would fit me. And we didn't have any money growing up, like no money. And
Yeah.
hand-me-downs was my life because I'm the youngest, three girls. So I got the clothes two times down, okay? So by that time they were worn out. They had patches in them because my mom was like, we're not buying anything new if we don't need
Yeah.
to. Um, and so my fashion game wasn't on. Couldn't find obviously shoes. I wear size 10 and a half, 11 since I was that age as well. So I didn't have that fashion game going on. And plus I was tall. So all of my clothes, like, the shirts were to here.
Yeah.
The pants, we had to like take out the hem. Always taking out the hem. Every time I went to go buy, even like when in my teens, when I had a little bit of money, going to buy clothes, I would always like the pants are on the hanger. I would turn the pants over, see how much hem there was, like, so because
Yeah.
I knew I would have to go home, pick it out, then wash it, and then iron it out so I could get another inch or two. That's the story of my life. Okay. I think everyone, do we not all resonate with that? Like that's just what it was like. So yeah, other than that, like eventually I grew to love my height. Love my height. But those puberty years were
Pretty bad.
hard. I still think like it's vivid to me when I'm thinking about. That's why whenever I see some younger girls or I have nieces and nephews now, I'm also an educator. If I see anyone who like seems to be shirking away from embracing their height, I tell them my story. I tell them, you just wait. You just wait. You're gonna love it. I know you don't believe me right now, but you will love it. So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell the good and bad of my upbringing, my childhood.
Well, for starters, I'm pretty sure that we can all resonate with your story, hence why we're here. And then I also wanted to ask, just as a follow-up, what was something involving your height? It could be a question, it could be a comment. What was
Mm,
something involving your height that you hated hearing?
listen, I know you're gonna. I You already know what it is. Do I play basketball?
Oh, yep.
That's it. Okay. And
I
yes,
literally I literally spoke about this in my last episode too. I'm sorry to cut you off.
yeah. I mean, I was an athlete. Like I went away to school for track and field, Division 1 athlete, was sprinter, very ran for Canada, all of that. But I didn't play basketball. Okay. So stop that. I don't play basketball. Why? I don't play it. I don't like it. I tried. I actually did. In grade 9, I got drafted. I got recruited. Like I went to my local high school, obviously,
Hmm.
walk in there in grade 9, and the basketball coach recruits me.
Yeah,
And
I
let me tell
can.
you, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try it. I don't like the sport. Even now, my two of my sons play basketball at a very, very high level. My husband loves basketball, but back then, and to now, basketball's just never been my thing. But I said I'm gonna try because he recruited me. He was like, "Come out, you'll be a starter." Blah 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 blah. So I did, and I sat on that bench for the first. I didn't play because I sucked. I was terrible. I tried out. I made. I didn't even. I don't think I had to try out. I made the team, and then the coaches realized that I couldn't play, and they were like, "Oh my God, what have we done?"
Oh my. I'm sorry about that. But hey, at least you ended up with track and field. That's really what
Yeah,
matters.
yeah.
Now, switching gears a little bit, tell us a little bit more about your brand. You mentioned Trèsolz. How did it start and what is your mission?
So Trèsolz started 3.5 years ago, right at the end of COVID, because I've always had it in my back pocket. I always had this idea that if someone was to make large size fashionable shoes, I would definitely, that's a great idea. I always thought, not me. I never thought me. I was like, if somebody did that, that's such a great idea. I never put me into the equation. You know what I mean? I just knew it was a
Yeah.
great idea because I'm only a size 10 and a half, 11. Like I say 10 and a half, 11 because I have a wider foot.
Mm.
So, and who finds size 10 and a half? I mean, except at Trace Souls, obviously. I mean, you have,
Of course.
but so I said to myself 3.5 years ago when we went online for school because I'm a teacher. I was always at my computer and I thought I would start to do some research and see how viable it would be to to um, start a large size shoe brand. And at the time, like I'm a math phys ed fitness teacher. I also teach special needs right now, but I don't have any business. I'm no business. Okay, girl, none. I just had my computer, and thank God for the internet now. Like you can like the world is really small when it comes to like looking up things. And so that's what I did. I just started researching, seeing what I could find overseas, locally, networking, like talking to people. And I did my first kind of original 3 or 4 designs, very, very small volume, just to see how it would land. Opened up a very rudimentary website and started selling with my initial kind of like bootstraps of finances. And it just took off from there. And I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I don't know what I was doing. I don't know how else to say it, but the need was so great. Like, and the problem was the need was so great that even though I was selling shoes, people didn't, and even to this day, people did not believe that like a brand like mine could exist, especially here in Canada, because here in Canada, we cross-border shop, okay? every quarter, we travel to your wonderful country, India, and we buy up all the shoes. And then we stick them in our trunk or we put them in our feet, and then we sneak back across the border because we don't want to pay duties and taxes on them. And we're not allowed to bring back a lot of, we can't bring back a lot, right? Without paying duties and
Oh,
taxes. So we put them on, like even when it comes to clothes. I shouldn't even be saying this, but you put on all the clothes that you buy. You put it all on. You put on all the earrings and all the shoes. Like I put on a pair. I take off all the tags, and I drive past the border and say, "Hi, sir. I just went to New York for lunch. Just for lunch. Yeah, no, didn't buy anything. Just here's my lunch. Here's my lunch receipt. Bye." And that's what you do because there's so much more variety in the States, obviously, when it comes to even larger size selections. But what I didn't realize about Trèsolz was that 3 years later, we were going to not only like we were going to not stop at size 13. So I don't know if I said this, but we went from size 10 to 13 at the time, my first batch of designs. And now listening to potential people hitting up my website and saying, Judy, I love what you're doing, but I'm a 14, I'm a 15, I'm a 16. Now we go up to size 16. Like we are one of the only brands ever. Like most of our stock, our volume, like we don't do like, oh, one size 16 and mainly size 11, 12. No, our 11s and 12s, we don't do a lot of volume. Our volume, like we want to make sure that the people who have the hardest time finding shoes, and those are the people who have size 14, 15, 16. I'm sorry, but that's true. You can't find 14, 15, and 16 really anywhere in the stores. And so now we go up to size 16. You're welcome.
wow. That's honestly amazing though, because I mean, I don't, I'm not in that size, but I mean, even the struggle of finding pants, that's how I can like relate to this in a way. Like, I can understand how it's very frustrating, trying to find something that looks good on you and is also in your size. So I think that's honestly amazing. And you spoke a little bit about it, but it's all with your brand, it's all about uplifting women and helping them feel more confident through shoes. So how do you think that footwear, especially for tall women with extended sizes, plays a role in boosting their confidence and, feeling empowered?
Well, I think that choice, when it comes to fashion, when it comes to what you get up and choose to put on every morning, like even myself, I'm not a fashionista by any stretch of the imagination. Like I live my life. I work out a lot. I work at a school that's a sports school, so I'm not even dressing up to go to work like office wear. I go out for dates. I go hang out with my girlfriends. But I have a life, and a life. Everyone has a life, and guess what? When you step out of your door every day, you're putting on a pair of shoes. You're putting on a pair. Not everyone's putting on a pair of glasses. Not everyone's putting on jewelry. Every person who steps out of their house to go do life needs to put on shoes and should be able to that should match whatever they're doing. And that's when it comes to apparel and shoes, I don't think that people recognize people who have like normal sized feet. They don't recognize how much shoes play a role in your life. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And so I've been so used to people who have larger size feet have been so used to just choosing from one or two pairs to match the entire extent of their life, the variety of things that we do in our life. We do so much, especially as women, especially as moms, especially as people who go to work, especially women. We live diverse lives. Why do I only have three pairs of shoes to choose from? Because I just so happen to have a size 11 foot. Why? And so that's why I think what I'm doing is so uplifting because now we have choice. Now we're just like everybody else who can choose, look at my closet and say, okay, this is what I'm doing today. This is what I feel like wearing. And I can just choose it. I can just choose it. There's no force. There's no force.
Yeah, I really like that. There's no force. You're not forcing yourself to wear a certain pair of shoes that don't go with that outfit for the day because believe me, I understand. It just basically wrecks your entire day.
Right? And for
Yeah.
so long, we've been told that, and I said this when I was on Dragon's Den. I don't know if they're going to edit it out, but if we have larger feet, like we've been told that all we do is walk the dog and hike because that's all that's available. Like there, don't get me wrong, there are shoes available in larger sizes, up to size whatever you want, 14, 15, 16. But they're basically saying those styles that are currently in the stores basically saying you're going for a hike, you're walking your dog, you're going to the gym. That's it.
Yeah.
Is that all we do? No.
No.
So that's why my shoes, like I don't do a lot of my designs aren't really kind of like those type of styles because they're already I don't want to compete with what's already out there. Like I got my Birkenstocks too, okay? I got mine. Okay? That's for
Yeah.
my hiking and walking the dog times. But I'm saying I want to all the other aspects of my life. That's what Trèsolz is about. Like the cute, fashionable, fashion forward shoes because women have a lot of shoes. Like we want all the shoes.
Yeah, we
Why
do.
not us? You know?
Exactly. And you just mentioned it too. I wanted to say congratulations on number one, partnering with Goa Shoes. We
Woohoo!
love Goa Shoes, but also like with Dragon's Den. Like, can you explain these two endeavors a little bit more and how you got to that point and so forth?
Yeah, so with Goa Shoes, we just kind of partnered with them. I mean, we've been talking back and forth for pretty much probably a year. Um,
Wow.
but as I've been, and I would say, Keji, if Keji's listening, it was ma mainly me that has been kind of like not, fully going full throttle on to see if this could work. But there came a point earlier this year where I just got so many hits to my website and abandoned carts from the UK. And I'm like, why, why? And I think it has to deal with the fact that here, like we ship worldwide, but I think our shipping terms are very expensive.
Mm,
So partnering with Goa hopefully will make it a little bit more accessible for and affordable for Trèsolz to go there. So that's why I thought I wanted to see how this would work. And so we just officially partnered mid-October. So that's great. And with Dragon's Den, it was all a fluke. Let me tell you, it was all a fluke. Like me being on Dragon's Den even a year ago, like I would be like, no way, I'm not ready. Like, what am I doing? Dragon's Den? No, it's not. It's like Shark Tank in the US, right? So
hmm
a friend of mine in January said, who had was on the show, we just started talking and I was asking about it. And he said to me just out of the blue, he's like, you should audition. Just audition. You never know. And I'm like, I'm not auditioning for Dragon's Den. Year old company. I'm still kind of like, building like Trèsolz is still very much a boutique company. Like we don't, our volumes are still very, very small. Um, and so he was like, why not try? I mean, your story's great. You have a great personality. I think that, because remember, Dragon's Den is not only about the end result, which is investment, getting an investor, but it's also good TV. It's good entertainment. So I just went home that night and it was the night before auditions closed. So I went on my computer, I did this rudimentary application really fast. Yeah, yeah, it's my story, blah, blah, blah. And then you have to upload like a 60-second video. You know how it works. And so
Yeah.
I did it and I pressed submit and I just walked away. I'm like, whatever. I did it. Can't say I didn't try. And then the very next day, they emailed me back and said, Judy, we want you to come in and audition.
Ooh,
So I
wow.
did the audition, which was crazy. Like I could talk for days about like they send you a package like this thick with hundreds and hundreds of questions. You need to know your numbers. You need to know
Wow.
everything, like potential questions. So you're auditioning in front of the producers, and then the next level is you wait. You wait for 2 months, and they said, "Don't call us, we'll call you."
Oh,
I'm like, okay. So my personality, like I just forgot about it. I just forgot about it.
yeah.
And so 6 weeks later, I got an email saying, you made it to the show. You made it to pitch live in front of the Dragons. So at that point, still, you don't know you're going to be on the show yet. Like you're pitching, they're filming you, you show up with your whatever, but you can still get edited out. Like if you suck, if you're not camera, like if you're not good on the camera, if your pitch sucks or whatever reason, they can still edit you out.
Wow.
Right. And so I was like, okay, I did the whole thing. I got models. I pitched in front of the Dragons. Like I did it. And then they're like, we can't tell you like if you're gonna make it to the show for another 2 months. So I'm like, okay, crap. So, anyways, I found out that I got on the show, and only about 40 entrepreneurs get on the show. And this is like hundreds and hundreds who start the audition process, right? The application, thousands, I think. And so, yeah, my episode airs on TV. If you're in Canada, I don't think you can get it. CBC is a Canadian company. I don't even think you can watch it, my friend. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna like tape it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you should and put it on social media and such. Even
Yeah.
send it to me and I
Yes,
can
I
put it on
will.
mine.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna record it obviously, and I'm gonna send it to you. And but if you're in Canada and you're listening to a Tall Girls podcast right now, November 7th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in.
Wow. Honestly, hearing about your journey and just how it all started, even over the past year, it sounds like a lot has happened over the past year. And I really just want to congratulate you on that and like the growth of your brand because honestly, it's just so amazing to hear that you're doing such big things and you're going to go on to do even more things,
Thank you.
more big things. Yeah,
Bigger,
bigger
bigger.
things. There you go. And now for our final question. What is one piece of advice that you want to give to the tall girls who are listening right now, who are struggling with their self-confidence because of their height or even because of their other features, such as having larger feet?
I would say that you probably feel like you're getting a lot of attention, like people are staring at you. And I know that's how I felt. And I want you to realize when people are staring at us, they're saying, oh my gosh, look at her. She's got the longest, beautiful legs. I wish I had her height. Like people stare at us because they want what we have. And it took me a while to recognize that. So embrace that. Embrace your height because everybody wants to be tall. And we are tall. God made us tall. So, and when it comes to larger size feet, like when it comes to our feet, um, Trèsolz is I'm just one brand that is trying to be the solution to this problem. And so support your local brands that are trying to provide more inclusion to the apparel industry because and stop squeezing your feet into the smaller sizes. Embrace those brands, and it might cost you a few more dollars, but we're trying to make a difference here. We're trying to like change the game here. So shop your tall brands, shop your large size shoe brands, and you never know. The more that we support each other, the more mainstream this will be. And yeah, that's what I would say.
Oh my gosh, thank you so, so much for that advice. That was honestly so amazing. Please, 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 where can we find you? Where can we find Trey Souls on the interweb? This is the time to plug yourself.
Okay, we're everywhere. First
Period.
of all, if you are a Trèsolz customer, please do me a solid. I know that some of you who are listening already own some of our shoes. Please, we're on Google, so go to Google, leave us a review. That really helps with people finding us through regular organic searches. But we are on Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. Our website, trèsolz.com. We are on LinkedIn. We are on everything. Name something. Oh, we're not on X. We're not on X. We used to be. Actually, we are on X, just like we haven't posted for a couple of years. So we're everywhere.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have everything linked in the description, so everybody who's tuning in can definitely go check you out. And I'm gonna plug myself at a Tall Girls podcast, just like you, everywhere. Literally, just search me up on Google, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, everybody's
Pinterest. We're on
information.
Pinterest. We're on Pinterest too.
Oh, there we go. So we're both
Thank
on
you.
Pinterest. So everybody's socials, everybody's links are going to be in the description. And I just want to say, Judy, again, thank you so much for being on this episode. I really do appreciate it.
I thank you for what you're doing. Like you are a trailblazer here. I know you don't think it, like you're still shocked that you are, but you're doing great things. And I thank you for starting this podcast. And thank you just for being so like au natural, so just like easy to talk to. Just like you're just doing a great job. So keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And Thank you again to the audience for tuning in, and I will catch all of you guys in the next one. Good night and goodbye.
Bye, everyone.